My name is Claudia Nichtel. I'm from Vienna, Austria, and I'm a nutritionist and help health professionals to use the potential of nutrition to have more success and more joy with their work. And before I joined Kickstart, it was a complete different life. I had an offline business and a cooking studio in Vienna, and I was so exhausted because I worked around 70 to 8 hours a week. My revenue for a year was around 100k, but my expenses were around 95k with all my employees and the rent for the cooking studio and everything. And this I did for almost 10 years. And the very bad thing is, because of all of the work, I lost my love of my life. And before Kickstart, my ex-husband, now ex-husband, moved out, and I was really devastated. He moved out on 31st of December, and in the middle of January I get an email and a notice about SOMBA Kickstart. And I had no money because short before I had my troubles in my marriage, I had an accident with my shoulder and I didn't work for 6 months, more or less, and so my bank account was empty. And the price for SOMBA Kickstart was $3,000 and I had no money. But if I looked through the information, I thought I could start an online business. Because I knew to pay out my ex-husband, I have to get rid of my cooking studio. And what should I do without a place to work? The only thing I can try is to go online. And so I took the risk to go. I asked with I paid it with credit card, because that was the easiest thing, to have a delay with paying it on my bank account. And it was the best decision I took. It was worth the risk, and if I look back, it was fantastic to get in the community of Sigrun. For me it was so important to connect with new people, because going through a divorce, it's also difficult with your surrounding, with your friends, with your family. Everybody asks so many questions and you are tired of speaking about the mistakes you made and all the past. I wanted to looking straight forward, to get a new life, and it was so beautiful to see other women, to see the vulnerability, to see their stories and how bold they were. And this gives me the strength to go through the SOMBA Kickstart program. And yes, I started with my first online course, and it was a 4-week program, how to have a proper breakfast. And as I was on the market for already 16 years, I had more than 1,000 people joining me. And for all of my clients which were used to work offline, it was new to be on Facebook, to do Zooms, to have a Facebook group. I made many mistakes if I look back, but I like to learn new things, and I'm very curious. And in the community I always had persons who answered my questions, who supported me, who helped me. And so I went through step by step, doing my first landing page, doing my first Zoom meetings, opened a Facebook group. I was overwhelmed with all this technical stuff, but it's possible to do it. And if you solve these problems, you raise a lot, because you know that you have capabilities you never expected before. And so I did this 4-week program for free, and then I had to offer a paid program. And I realized that selling and having a good price it's a topic. I had written 16 books at this moment. I have a PhD in nutrition, so I'm really an expert. But my most expensive program at this moment were 420 euros for a 3-month program. So if I count the hours, I earned around 80 bucks for an hour, which was very sad after having written 16 books. And I remember I had discussions with Sigrun, and she always said, you have to charge more, you have to charge more, you are an expert. And I didn't know how. And so my first online program was quite cheap, 198 euros for a 12 weeks program. But if I look back, I think it was the right decision, because I had 80 clients who bought this. And I learned a lot working 12 weeks with 80 clients. It was a very important path for me. And the most important thing was the revenue I had from this program. I invested in a retreat with Sigrun in Iceland. And you can't imagine walking through a divorce, quite a lot of tears, and then being in Iceland with 9 others, entrepreneurs, meeting Sigrun live in person, and having one of the best weeks in my life. This healed a lot of my heart, and I'm so grateful to having started with online business, because it was the beginning of my new life, and it was really the best decision I made. Kickstart was just the beginning, but if I look back, then started the real magic. After my retreat in Iceland, it was clear I want to continue working with Sigrun. And although my bank account was still a little bit low, I invested in my first VIP mastermind. And this investment, it was like I am giving my life for something I don't know if it comes out. And then I had my first mastermind meeting with Sigrun, and she was in my round. You have to charge more. And I remember we decided to create a program. I had my hot seat in my mastermind group, and the result was to offer a group program for 3,000 euro. And to be honest, in my heart I thought, Sigrun is really crazy. And I had moments where I really hated her, because this was so out of my comfort zone. And I remember entering the train in Zurich, and I had 10 hours to go back to Vienna, and my brain went back and forth. How do I come out from this mastermind? I cannot offer a program for 3K. And so after 4 hours, I made a deal with myself. I said, I trust this Icelandic woman, because if I go out of the mastermind, she will not give me back the money. So my only change is to trust her. And when I arrived in Vienna, it was clear I do the work. I trust the process and I do the work. And my personal deal was I will offer to 50 persons the 3K program, and if 50 people say no, I go to Sigrun and say, this doesn't work. But I will test it. I'm a natural science people, so I do the experiment. And then a real magic happened. I came home, I checked my phone, and I got a message from a school friend. I had no contact since almost 35 years. And he sent me a message, I have to lose weight, can you help me? And I wrote back, yes, I can. 3 months, 3K. And he said, yes, when can we start? So the first people already said yes after I made the decision that I will do it. But I realized doing the same work I did for 16 years, better paid, but it's boring. I have no development. I do the same work. And so I discussed with Sigrun and my mastermind group, and then I did the big decision to change from B2C clients to B2B, and I found my real purpose. I will help other health professionals. I give them all my expertise, all what I've learned in my work with 8,000 clients in nutrition consulting, that they can use nutrition to do a better work with their clients. And maybe you see how my eyes are brighten up. This is what I really like, because now I have multiplicators. I don't work one-to-one with private persons. I give my expertise and all my knowledge to health professionals. And I made a simple calculation. I have helped 8,000 people in 16 years. If I teach 1,000 persons all what I know, 1,000 health professionals, and they work in the next years with other 1,000 clients, 1,000 per 1,000, it's 1 million. And my vision is to make minimum 1 million people healthier. And I like this idea so much, and it works. I already had in my 8 months online course for health professionals almost 250 persons, and a quarter is already done, and I love it every day. I hop out of my bed. Now I have a team with 9 really great, amazing people, and we love what we do, and the start was Kickstart. The decision to create an online course for health professionals, an 8-month program including all my knowledge, was really very good. And the next magic moment happened when I launched for the first time. I had a 6-figure launch. That means with the launch activity, 3 weeks, I had the revenue from 115K what I had before in 1 year. And for me this was, this is possible? And as I like launching and I like to speak about my program and get people in, last year I started to create my 7-figure business. We almost hit the first million, and it's still magic.